So let's get back to guilt because that's our topic today. When we take action based on guilt, when we make decisions based on guilt, it's not good for anyone. It might make the other person happy temporarily, but it's not really good for them. Everybody's different. Your values are different. Everybody's values are different. Notice how it feels when you act from guilt. Notice how it feels when you act from your authentic inner being. And the beautiful thing is we don't need to justify our actions. We always do it. I think most people do. We make excuses or we provide justification for why we made this decision. But it's not required. And when we feel guilty because of our conditioning, that guilt becomes a hook. And that's kind of where I want to step into doing some tapping. I want you to notice your guilt and your conditioning. And conditioning is, how did your family and your friends and your schooling and stuff train you to be guilty? Here.
Okay.
Okay. And I need to reiterate, I am recording. Is that okay with you?
That is okay.
Yeah. So, Teresa, you said your guilt's at a 7.
Yeah.
If you want, let's dive into that and see if we can bring that down a little bit. Because when you think of guilt at a 7, just sense into your heart center. We're inviting the force of unconditional love to guide us through this session. Unconditional love. Imagine that. See, unconditional love and guilt, they don't coexist very well. So this heavy 7 guilt that you carry around, how can you briefly describe how you notice it affects your life, your daily life?
Yeah, so it's really come up just around the holiday seasons. Yeah. Should I fly to see my sister because she wants me to? Should I do what I don't want to do for Thanksgiving because my family wants me to? My mother's 92. We just recently reconnected. She's thinking now that means we should be really connected.
Mm-hmm.
And with my past experience with her, that's not good for me.
Okay.
So I am trying to talk myself into what I want to do, which is to not do that, not go and be in that situation. I was glad for the reconnection, but I don't want to reconnect again so soon. And I don't want it to be around the holidays because, like you said, for me, that means Christmas is following and she will have that expectation and I'll go right back through it again for Christmas. So I want to deal with that guilt now before I make any commitments. Even though I have no other plans, I don't want to do that.
Absolutely. You don't have to have other plans.
Yeah, I don't want to fly.
Don't want to fly.
Don't want to fly right now. I don't think it's safe. And I don't want to have the holidays with my family. I have,
All right. So let's see if we can help you. As you're describing it, I can almost feel the energetic spider web of connection to these people who I don't even know, but it's a really common thing.
Yeah.
And everybody starts getting their new ideas. Oh, we're connected now. So because mom wants us to all get together, that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. The key here is what you just said. You want to make your decision with way less guilt.
Yeah.
What if you could make the decision from a place of unconditional love?
Yeah, it would be totally different.
It would, wouldn't it?
So I would just go, oh, no, I don't want to do that right now. And
I
would feel okay.
So you already know what your answer is, what your decision is. You're just trying to deal with the guilt.
Yep.
Okay. Good noticing. So you already know you don't want to go.
Yep.
Tap on the side of your hand and everybody's going to tap along. See if you can tap into your own source of unconditional love that has nothing to do with these family members because they didn't learn it. They didn't practice it. They didn't even know it exists. And humans don't really understand unconditional love. And you can sense that in your own family, not just your own family, our own families. We can sense all the unconditional love. If you don't act the way I want, I will withhold love.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just want you to breathe that in, that idea that that's how you were trained.
Yes.
They weren't doing it to be mean. That's all they knew.
Yes, that's right.
But do you want to perpetuate this?
No.
So as it can be difficult, but then it doesn't have to be. If you can make the decision and then release yourself from guilt,
Yeah.
then whatever they're feeling and ruminating about and talking about behind your back is none of your business.
Yeah.
All right. So are you still tapping on the side of your hand?
I am.
All right. So now we're going to move to the other kind of tapping. So just tap on the top of your head and say, I release all my emotional attachments
I release all my emotional attachments
on the eyebrow to acting from guilt.
to acting from guilt.
And then just tap around the points and notice what you feel. And you don't have to feel something, but oftentimes just releasing that can be huge. What are you noticing, Teresa?
Already I'm breathing because before I started thinking of the guilt,
Mm-hmm.
I was breathing okay. And now I'm back. During that thought of the guilt, I was breathing quickly
Mm-hmm.
and tensing up. Now I'm back relaxing again. Yeah.
Absolutely. That okay. So the emotional attachments are those spider webby things, energetic spider webs that are that keep us from being who we were really meant to be.
Yeah.
And so I think as we'll go a little further and tap again on the top of your head and say, I restore right energy flow and balance
I restore right energy, flow, and balance
on the eyebrow to my breathing.
to my breathing.
And just feel that. Just what you're experiencing now is the freedom of not being conditioned or and imagine your family when I'm seeing all the family members. Not everybody wants the same thing, right? They don't even know what they want. They just want you to behave the way they want you to behave. Imagine your family members as you say, no, I'm not going to however you want to say it. I believe it's important not to lie.
Yeah.
But you don't have to make an excuse either. Just know that's not how I'm spending Thanksgiving this year. Or you can say I have other plans, and your other plans might just be that you're going to spend Thanksgiving at home alone.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because I feel guilty lying. So
Yeah. Well, I don't think we should lie. That
yeah,
just makes it harder, right? It
yeah.
makes it harder. So
And
imagine yourself. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
once I do this, then I know that I can go ahead and make plans without guilt attached to them. So
You
yeah,
want to keep practicing. Yeah. Not making guilty plans. Yeah. So imagine, just really keep tapping on the side of your hand now. Close your eyes and imagine telling these family members how many are involved, how many people involved in this?
there's about 4 families involved here.
4 families. Oh, okay. There'll be plenty of people. They won't even notice you're not there
Yep.
once they get over it. But you imagine telling your mom and your sister, "No, I have other plans for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to come. Not I won't be able to, but I'm choosing not to." Is really the truth.
Yeah.
I have other plans. I'm choosing not to. And imagine as you imagine that. I don't want you to necessarily tell me what you think they're going to say. Really notice how you feel telling them that.
Yeah.
And tell me how you feel.
Yeah, I actually feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to ask how they feel.
Well, that's good. Yes. You don't want to ask how they feel. They may offer it up.
Yeah.
But no matter what happens, the best way to handle these types of situations is just to state your, no, I'm not going to be there. And if they go, well, how come? And that's not fair. And don't you feel bad for mom? And you just don't engage with that stuff. Just don't engage. Each time you don't engage and you truly don't engage, it's like having them throw something at you and it doesn't hit you. It just hits an invisible, like a plexiglass thing, and just falls away.
That's right. That glass, somebody said something about a glass dome around you. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of put a dome around you that's mostly impermeable by this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that kind of stuff has not been helpful to you. And as you surround yourself with this glass dome, you can observe how much your family members use these techniques that they don't even know they're doing
Right.
to guilt you. You know, and they don't even know they're, well, they do know. Well, I think most people know when they're guilting, but they wouldn't cop to it. They wouldn't say, yes, I'm going to guilt you into coming.
No, it's a lifelong.
It is.
A lifelong habit. Yeah.
All right. So now check in with your guilt that you were feeling at the beginning. What intensity is it right now?
My guilt is much less. I would say it's at a 3, but my gut is much more relaxed. And that's really where I carry all of my guilt and regret, is in my gut level. And it's much more relaxed right now. So, yeah.
Regret is a part of guilt.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. Regret is our looking at the past and thinking, I should have done it differently.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, when you think, I should have done it differently, and I'm going to spend some of my precious energy feeling regret, it's such a waste. I mean, a little bit to just notice so you can learn for next time, but to continually feel regret is a waste of life.
Yeah, I'm trying to commit myself to not going back, to not rolling it over in my head and reliving a conversation or a decision, and to just let it be what it is, what it was.
And if there are some things from the past that need to be dealt with in your emotional being, you can tap. You can go to the past. You can think, okay, like let's just do a general one. And if you'll tap with me, tap on the side of your hand and say, even though I feel regret,
even though I feel regret,
thinking about this event that happened,
thinking about this event that happened,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Deeply and completely accept myself.
And I choose to be present in this moment.
And I choose to be present in this moment.
Even though I feel regret.
Even though I feel regret.
About this event that happened in the past.
About the event that happened in the past.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And I choose to know.
And I choose to know.
That I did the best I could at that time.
That I did the best I could at that time.
With the information and resources I had then.
With the information and resources I had then.
Okay, and one more time. Even though I feel regret.
Even though I feel regret.
About this past event.
About this past event.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
And I forgive myself.
And I forgive myself.
And anyone else involved in that event.
And anyone else involved in that event.
Okay, and then you just tap around top of the head, say this regret.
This regret.
On the eyebrow, this regret about the past.
Regret about the past.
Side of the eye, living in the past.
Living in the past.
Under the eye, this regret.
This regret.
Under the nose, guilt about the past.
Guilt about the past.
On the chin, I'm releasing the past.
I'm releasing the past.
On the collarbone, back to where it belongs.
Back to where it belongs.
Under the arm, in the past.
In the past.
Okay, and then Teresa, just take a breath in and out.
Yes.
And notice how that feels.
Oh, much better. Now my arms and legs are even relaxed.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And I didn't know they weren't. So
I know that's the amazing thing. We get so tensed so unconsciously that we don't even realize how stressed we are.
Yeah.
And you have every right to live a stress-free, mostly stress-free life. A little bit of stress is great, but most people are in sort of this constant stress state. Yeah. And as you feel that relaxation, think about what people will think if you choose not to get stressed anymore.
Oh, it won't even matter, but I will feel so much better if I'm not stressed anymore.
Absolutely. And when you think about family and friends and stuff, a lot of people don't understand this. You don't have to explain it to them. You can say, and everybody think about this, you just say, I love myself so much that I'm choosing to not be stressed.
I love myself so much. I'm choosing to not be stressed.
I'm choosing to take really good care of myself.
Choosing to take really good care of myself.
Okay. How does that feel?
Good. It feels honest.
It feels honest.
Yeah.
And like anything else, if this is a new concept for you, you got to practice. You get to practice. And as I said earlier, the universe will give you lots of opportunities to practice.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. With our families, we can't help but have opportunities.
That's exactly right. Families are just here to help us learn to grow spiritually.
That is great.
Teresa, what's your guilt level now?
Oh, I'd say a 1.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Just it's not even registering as guilt now. It's just
excellent. And so if you slip back in, there's a good chance that this awakening of just a awareness of the guilt can keep you from going there again.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, you can always listen to this recording. You can tap on your guilt. And I'm a big proponent of living mostly guilt-free. Guilt is one of those emotions, a little bit, just to remind you, like, oh, that doesn't feel good when I do that, like lying and cheating and stealing and murdering, but I don't have to feel guilty all the time. Okay. Wonderful. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you for volunteering. I really appreciate it.